All right, so Oklahoma just made an offer to a four-star linebacker out of the state of Texas, one that they're potentially looking at flipping from the University of Baylor. And Brent Venables and Zach Alley, they're shooting their shot after they have struck out with a couple of other linebackers in this class. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you have followed recruiting at all, you know that this was an offer that we were kind of all watching, waiting, seeing if it was going to end up coming to fruition. And it absolutely did for Oklahoma. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're excited about it. And we're going to take a look at it today because Kaleb Burns getting an offer from Oklahoma is big time. This is something that you've needed in this class. You needed to address another linebacker offer so that maybe you didn't have to go out there and get 3 or 4 in 2026. Make your lives a little bit easier there. So we're going to jump into it today. Before we do that, though, as always, join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. Give me your thoughts. Will Oklahoma flip Kaleb Burns from Baylor? Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and hit the subscribe button. Usually we are flooded with recruiting content, but with the 2025 cycle pretty much being wrapped up, it is going a little slower than normal. But if you like recruiting news, make sure you tune in here. So we got to talk about Kaleb Burns, who recently just got the offer like today from Oklahoma. And like I said, if you follow recruiting, this is something that we have all been watching, something we've been waiting on. Like we kind of knew this was coming down the pipeline. It was just a matter of when, not if. But Kaleb Burns officially gets the offer here. And I got a chance to follow up with Kaleb Burns and just kind of ask him like, hey, what does the offer mean to you? And things like that. And basically he was like, it means a lot. Brent Venables and then like they have been recruiting him. They've been pushing for him. So it meant something to Kaleb to get this offer. And listen, if you've kind of been following the tracker, if Kaleb Burns got the offer, I think a lot of us were feeling pretty confident that Kaleb Burns will be a part of this class. And I feel pretty confident, which is why I'm here to tell you today, like I would predict Kaleb Burns to flip from Baylor to Oklahoma, and I would expect it to happen within the month, right? That's how quickly I think things could go for Oklahoma and Kaleb Burns. But taking a look at his 247 sports profile, I believe he is a little bit bigger than 6 foot. His huddle film has him at 6'1", 215, but he is out of Seifels High School in Houston, Texas. Got a total of 24 total offers. And when you look at the offer sheet, you saw his original commitment to Texas Tech that he ended up flipping to Baylor on July 30th. He's got the other Texas offers, right? Houston, TCU, SMU, but some of the other offers that you look at that means something, right? If you're looking at linebackers, these mean something. You look at Oregon, you look at Tennessee, you look at Utah, right? You look at Florida, you look at Arkansas. You see these Power 4 schools, the Big Ten and the SEC offers. Those mean something if you're looking at a linebacker. So the question is, if Oklahoma lands a guy like Kaleb Burns, what does this mean for them, right? What do they get in Kaleb Burns? Well, they're getting a versatile athlete. Listen, here's some of his intangibles. 4.56 40. So you'd like to see him get back to 4.5 or below 4.5 40, but still, I mean, the getaway speed there, to be able to go in there, hone on the quarterback, get in the backfield. That's what you want to be able to see. So 4.56 40. He benches 305. He benched 185 pounds 28 times. I don't even think I could bench 185 pounds because I'm a little weak. So that's impressive there. 100-meter dash, he had 11.18, and he squats 400. So you get a guy like that who is versatile and can play all 3 levels of the linebacker position at a Power 4 level, which I get it. Pac-12's trying to come back. We're going to call it Power 4 because that's just how it is. He could play any one of those 3 linebacker levels. Now, in a BV defense, could he play cheetah? Yes. So technically, you could say he could play 4 different positions at linebacker. And like I said, you get somebody like that with Brent Venables and Zach Alley, they're going to maximize him. They're going to get the most out of him. And you love to see that. So looking at what he's been able to do at his time at Cy-Fair, 88 solo tackles, 118 total tackles. He has 22 and a half tackles for loss. Definitely last year was his best year, but he also has 8 sacks and 7 QB hurries. Remember, I always tell you guys, sacks are great. It's a great statistic to look at. However, QB hurries tells you a little bit more of the story, right? How often are they getting back there, causing pressure? It doesn't always lead to a sack, but it does lead to other things like interceptions and things like that. Because if you make the quarterback uncomfortable, you flush them out of the pocket, right? That's when you get the quarterback to end up making mistakes. And Kaleb Burns is a guy that exemplifies that. And in a BV defense, this is a guy that you could see him potentially use in a lot of blitz packages, kind of like what you've seen with Danny Stutzman this season. So the question is, right, not only is Oklahoma going after Kaleb Burns, but who else are they going after in the 2025 cycle? Because there is kind of this question about like, okay, well, Oklahoma lost Kamori Moore, you lost Floyd Buchard, who are two interior defensive line commits, right? Like, do they end up replacing them? And I think they do. I don't think they end up replacing maybe both, but I think they could get one solid interior defensive line target, and then you're going to see Oklahoma go to the portal this offseason. We've already heard rumors of some interior guys that would look at portaling. Oklahoma's going to be interested, but I mean, one of the first guys that I think you look at on the defensive line is like a Xavier Hardy. He currently goes to Eastern Mississippi Community College, but he is the #1 JUCO product this offseason. And that is somebody who I definitely expect Oklahoma to kind of flirt around with. See, hey, like, would you be interested? The other guy you look at is Isaiah Campbell, a 4-star interior defensive lineman, 6'4", 260, was committed to Clemson, decommitted a couple weeks ago. This is a guy that Oklahoma was kind of in there early. You would expect Oklahoma's probably going to pick up the phone. Todd Bates is going to try to gauge that interest, because here's the deal. Todd Bates is going to try to flip or just land a big fish in general that's currently not committed. You're going to see Oklahoma try to flirt with somebody that they haven't necessarily been 100% into or in the race for this past recruiting cycle, but they're going to do it. This is what they do, especially if you see Oklahoma start off the season 8-1 or 7-2, right? There's going to be some traction gained on the recruiting trail. Recruits are going to notice what Oklahoma is doing in their first year in the SEC, and that's good news for you, especially if you go in there and you're able to beat an Alabama and a Texas, right? Those would be two huge wins, especially in the eyes of recruits. So as far as what Oklahoma's doing, it's pretty solid. There's not a whole lot left, though, in the 2025 cycle for them to do. You just look at them shoring up the linebacker position and the interior defensive line position, maybe taking a quarterback if Jackson Arnold actually announces that he is going to off to the portal, which, we've seen a lot of guys redshirting and then hitting the portal. Don't think Jackson would do something like that, but if he does, you could see Oklahoma maybe go after another 2025 QB target just to add some more depth to that room. Not sure who those would be. We will identify those as the time comes and if that news becomes necessary. But if you guys are still watching, thank you for tuning in. If you guys have not already, join the discussion, jump down in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.